Welcome back, lads and lassies. My name's Josh, and today, this week, welcome back, come back, all for more Darling in the Franxx. We're kind of in this cool down period. We just had this incredible, very personal arc driven between Zero Two and Hiro's relationship, their past, how it all combined into creating like the most powerful and OP Franxx we've seen on screen. So like after that great arc, we're in like this cooldown period. Papa, the upper echelon, kind of abandoned the kid. They're not like abandoned. They're still giving them like food, but like all their caretakers, they're gone. The kids have to do everything on their own. Dr. Franxx said this is like for one of his experiments. So possibly he's trying to teach them to become adults, teach them responsibilities in hopes of creating like an adult Franxx team. That could be interesting, but I don't know. We don't know what the reason is for. Like he's just said this is a part of the experiment, but we don't know what the experiment is exactly. The upper echelon also mentioned this thing about a Klaxosaur princess, and that they're going to give their final warning to this group, and there's no need for 2 keys. I think the keys are 02 and this other girl that we saw at the bottom of the Grand Kavass last episode. But again, nothing's been confirmed. These are all just my thoughts. So they only need one of them. So who are they going to choose? Are they going to choose 02 or are they going to choose the girl from the Grand Kavass? Who knows? But 02 in the group, they're getting along great. 02's been accepted. She knows what it's like to be human now. Or like at least she has what she wants out of being human, which is a family. Some people that she can rely on. The group is incredibly stressed. Futoshi is having trouble eating because like they could be on a diet. It could be because he's trying to force himself to go on a diet. It could also be because of like the abandonment that they just went through. Zorome may or may not be losing faith in Papa. Ichigo is not her. She's not like her cheery self. She's a little more down. Kokoro and Mitsuru, though, they are propelling their relationship. Kokoro kissed Mitsuru, which was very sweet. Mitsuru got a haircut. He's trying to figure out who he is without the grudge against Hiro. So I'm most excited, surprisingly, to see kind of that between the group. I want to see that blossom, but I don't want Futoshi to find out, but he needs to find out, though. But I feel bad for him because he and Kokoro, they get along really, or like he loves her a lot. I don't see Ikino and Futoshi being a thing, really. Like Gordo and Ichigo, I can see them being a thing. Miku and Zorome, they kind of have that chemistry, but Ikino and Futoshi, I don't even know if they've uttered a single word to each other. But let's just see how this episode goes. I'm curious if this is going to be setting up a new arc, or if we're still in the cooldown stage, we're going to get some more character-driven episodes. Either way, I'd be happy because I think the character-driven episodes in this are incredibly entertaining. Just the cast is so good. So let's just get into this reaction, lads. Alright, so we are getting some answers, finally, to quite a bit of the questions I've been asking since the beginning of the series. Going on, or like, we're not getting answers to them, but Squad 13, they're starting to ask the questions that I'm most curious about, which means they'll hopefully be finding these answers sooner rather than later. We only have 7 episodes left in the series, which is crazy to think about. But oh, I'm so excited to see how this is all gonna like wrap up, because there's such like a big mystery box going on with the war between the Klaxosaurs and the people, and now I'm beginning to think they're not people anymore. Alright, instead of going the character route first, I'm going to go through the lore stuff, because that's the stuff I want to talk about the most. So the Klaxosaur princess, for sure, it is literally a Klaxosaur princess. They're not talking about 02. There is a princess of the Klaxosaur. She's kind of got like these tentacles on her back. I would say 2 of the people of the upper echelon, 2 of Papa, they went down to discuss her surrender. Obviously, that did not happen. I don't understand why they would try to discuss the surrender, especially with a gigantic mysterious hand that crushed Plantation 13 in one blow. Like, obviously they have more stuff. Like, they not... Just because they took out Grand Kavas doesn't mean that it's... they're like, that's not a crushing blow. Just because you took out one military base doesn't mean that the other 99 aren't gonna work anymore. So, that's kind of dumb. Like, but well, I would say it's dumb on Papa's part, but they also seem very arrogant. They seem like they're the ones that know what they're doing. And then the Klaxosaur princess said something that, you human wannabes. So could Papa be either robots, or could the show be going into the direction like the Klaxosaurs are actually humans fully evolved, and maybe like Papa and the group, their genetic experiments that the humans made that like started attacking the Klaxosaurs. There's so much interesting stuff. It's like, I feel like there's so much more interesting stuff. It has to connect to that humanoid shape that we saw in episode 15, at the end of episode 15. So I'm starting to think like Klaxosaurs might be the original humans, and then everyone else, like the Franxxes and stuff, that might be like either genetic experiments or aliens. Just like the way that I'm going to assume everyone is a genetic experiment. Everyone that looks human, they're genetic experiments based off of what one of the Papa people said. They're like, we're going to scorch your Earth, and it's going to be from your own creation. So that could be everyone. It could be talking about the 9, because as soon as I said that, the 9 popped up. I'm so glad that M9 got slapped in the face by Ikino. Ikino, not one of my favorite characters, but she's not one of my least favorite characters either. She just doesn't have much to do. I'm so glad that they let her do that. They let her defend Kokodo. I am very worried for Kokodo, though, because the 8, because they're called the 9 because, you know, 02 is part of it, but it's really the 8. But I don't like that guy. I thought he would be an interesting character to go into when we first met him, but he's just he took Mitsuru's place. It's my least favorite character. I just want him to die a horrible death now. I actually like Mitsuru now. I love everyone in on the group now. In Squad 13. I love the squad. But yeah, M9 got what he's coming to him with the slap, but he's a tattletale, man. Yeah, he's gonna tell Papa about the whole baby making stuff. And I'm curious to know what the reaction's going to be. They're probably going to try and take Kokodo away. So what I'm hoping is that maybe Papa tries to take Kokodo and Mitsuru away. Squad 13 bands together. 02 and Hiro kill the 9. That would be nice. But in the end, like, at least that Squad 13 bands together to protect each other and they run away from Papa. But I don't know, Zorome would be down for that. He's drunk so much of the Kool-Aid. I don't know, maybe they can convince him. I feel like if everyone does it, Zorome would do it too, even if he's still like with Papa's Kool-Aid. I feel like he cares more about the squad than he does about the indoctrination to Papa, but that's gonna have to be something we see. I don't even know if they'll go down that route. That seems like the unlikely route. But if Papa does try and do something to Kokoro, I can see the squad. I can see most of the squad helping her. It's only Zorome, that's the question. But I feel like he would end up doing it because Miku's on the squad. Like, she's going to be with everyone else. Hiro, I was right. He is growing horns. So he has little baby stubs. I wonder how that's going to go. So like we saw like the stubs, but it also looks like it's like part of the skin. Like it's not like 02's horns where it's like red crystals. And she says it doesn't hurt. But it looks like bumps. So it looks like it's his skin moving up. I wonder if 02 really wanted to. If she could literally like file down her horns all the way to the forehead. And then like, hide it with her hair. Hiro's, they're like tiny little bumps, but he can hide it with his hair. So I wonder if he does grow them. and he wants to just be like, if he doesn't want to have the horns, it's not here. Like Hiro does want it. He's like, it's like I feel closer to you. It's like I am like part of you now. So he does want the horns. But I wonder if Hiro and 02 wanted to, if they could just file it down, or if there's like just a certain point where it's too close and then it starts hurting. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to see a little more of the squad being buddy-buddy with each other. Like 02, Miku, and Ikuno. They all gotten so much closer. Ichigo, she's not like... Yeah, she wasn't with them when they were doing like the filing of the horns. But like, yeah, 02 is becoming more and more a part of the squad, so it's so nice to see that. I literally circled Klaxosaur people from my old notes. And then the 9, I just hate M9. I think that's his name, or at least that's his Klaxosaur name. M9 though, I hate that guy. And I'm starting to, like, I don't know if you guys left down in the comments, because I did binge. I just binged 3 episodes, episode 15, 16, and 17. So if you guys left it down in the comments, it probably has been answered. But I'm starting to believe, I believe, at least the 9. I believe they're genderless, because we saw the guy piloting one of the Franxx. We saw M9 pilot the Franxx in the girl's position. So I believe that the 9, they're so powerful, or they're so genetically modified that they're genderless. So it doesn't matter what state they're on. And they have like that superiority complex. Like, I'm better because I'm not affected by anything. Like, I'm so much better. Look at me. I don't have any reproductive organs. You triple digit. But yeah, God, there's very few people that I want to have like suffer a terrible death. Like I made out of like Zorme earlier in the season. I made out like Mitsuru up until a couple episodes ago. But I didn't want them to die. But they're just Flock from Attack on Titan. I hope he gets what he comes to him. And then this guy, not like the 9, or at least like M9. Just like, I don't like him. He's so arrogant. It's a tattletale. I just, the way he came out, oh Papa, we're back. I have something to tell you. Oh. But before I go into like the relationship part of it, the meat of the episode, got a little. I said it. Could Nana have been a part of a squad? And she was. Relapse into puberty. So they do something to the adults, or at least the adults. They do grow up as teenagers. So maybe I need to see the picture again from episode 8, I think. Maybe one of the kids looked like Nana, because they said that they all died. But could that be the cover story? Like, all the squads die, wink. But they just disappear for like 20 years, come back as adults, unrecognizable? Because M9 said something like, oh, didn't you go through the procedure? I guess it's not working. I'm gonna have to tell Papa you're useless now. But yeah, they do go through a procedure to suppress their emotions, I guess. Nana's has been backfiring, or it's not been working. She's been getting headaches. I didn't say anything about it in the last episode. I didn't say anything about the headaches. But I did say something about Nana going through this before. So maybe she's... Maybe they sterilize, like when they're teenagers, they keep all that, they let them have the reproductive organs and stuff. But maybe as adults, they sterilize them, make sure. The guy, I guess Nano, I don't remember his name, but he is not really affected by it. He just kind of goes, "How long?" Or he starts talking to the doctor. He doesn't really seem to care what would happen to Nana. So he's working properly for the people, like for the upper echelon. I wonder if Nana's gonna help. Like, if they do try and take Kokodo, I wonder if Nana's gonna try and help them. Maybe she sacrifices herself to help them get out, to hold off everyone else in time for the squad to get into their Franxxes, or maybe they take her with them. But yep, I circled this too. Kokoro and Mitsuru, man, their relationship is blossoming. They with Kokoro being naturally curious, wants to make a baby, and I loved her little speech of wanting to leave a mark on the world, wanting to leave something behind. And I love that Mitsuru is... Everyone's going through like the whole confused about love thing, but they're all going through it slightly differently. Just shows great. Shows like handling all these characters so well. Again, no action happened this episode, but the characters carried it. The mystery unraveling slightly carried it as well. But yeah, Mitsuru and Kokoro, they did the deed. They did it. So maybe we get a flash forward in a few episodes. Maybe the next episode takes place 9 months later. If we want to see the baby, they could just say like, "Oh, she's pregnant," and so like they could say that. But if they want to see the baby, we're gonna need a flash forward. But man, I did not expect when Kokoro found Mitsuru in the garden, taking his pills. I did not expect it to lead to this, and I'm so glad it did. I'm so glad Mitsuru's fallen off his high horse, and that he's like letting himself be more real. Like he's not like that arrogant person he used to be. He's not letting like anger drive him from Hiro. He's like I love that conversation he and Hiro were having, and it's like Hiro's like, you know what, you used to like pull yourself away from all of us. I'm glad that you're like I'm glad that you're like becoming part of the group now, and I'm glad that Mitsuru is allowing himself to talk to Hiro without having like that pompousness or like, oh, you forgot our promise. I'm glad he's moving away from that. So, but yeah, I just did not expect Kokoro and Mitsuru ending up in this particular situation. I always loved her and Futoshi, but now after seeing this, I'm like, dang man, Futoshi, I love you, man. But Mitsuru and Kokoro, a much more interesting story. But I wonder how this is going to affect their Franxxness, their Franxx compatibility. Are Ikino and Kokoro, are Ikino and Futoshi gonna switch with each other? Are they gonna be the new partners now? Or does it like now that Kokoro and Mitsuru, now that they're closer, does that make their Franxx stronger? I don't know, maybe. But man, such a great episode. Such a great episode, man. I'm loving Mitsuru now. What a 180 I did on his character. What a 180 I did. Such a few episodes. I'm like, man, I love him. All he needed was the haircut. It was just the haircut. Turned into a completely different guy. So many questions. So many questions. But I feel like we're getting more. We're leaning more into the answers, and I'm more satisfied now than I was a few episodes ago. So lads, if you enjoyed this reaction, if you want to see my reaction to the answers, to whatever is going to happen next, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I'll see you all lads next week for more. If you enjoyed this reaction, why don't you check out the channel? I've done my Gurren Lagann reactions. I've gone through The Promised Neverland. Makai and I are going through My Hero Academia. It's a good time. There's probably something that you do enjoy on the channel, so check it out. I'll see you all lads next week for more.